Hello and welcome to the Bald and the Beautiful. I am Bryce
I'm Chris,
and I'm bald.
and I'm Beardiful. All right, we're talking big news of the week.
Episode 7.5, the in-betweener.
The in-betweener.
The in-betweeners. I don't know what else to call these.
This is a post Halloween in-betweener. I don't know if we're gonna keep that.
We don't have to. It's already there.
Uh,
Yeah, this is the after Halloween episode. Did you get a chance to watch the Halloween game, San Francisco versus Arizona?
was at the game.
You were at the game. How'd you like losing that game?
It was actually pretty miserable, like being a season ticket holder and sitting in a sea of Niners fans. It was
Oh yeah.
awful.
I mean, it's still the Red Sea, isn't it?
Sort of.
Sort of. They're wearing the red and beige, maybe.
Red and beige. Uh, yeah, no, like there were so many opposing teams fans. Like, I don't know if it's just because of where the stadium's located and people, have jobs in Arizona versus all the homeless people in the Bay Area. Uh, but it was it was fun to watch, like watch the sheer panic on their faces the first touchdown out the game.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
Arizona scored first.
yep, drew first blood, and then just sheer panic overtook everyone's faces. Like, wait a tick, like this was supposed to be like an easy win.
Well, it's for a division game. I don't think it's ever an easy win.
No, I agree, but either way, like it got to be so bad that they were celebrating instead of celebrating like good plays, they were celebrating when penalties would go their way. Like, really celebrating. I'm like, okay, cool. At least like you recognize the fact that like the refs have to help you make it down the field. I couldn't say that though, just because we're outnumbered uh, in that particular game. But yeah, it was um, it was interesting. Let's say, like, it was still a fun game. It was still like, I think once again, I think that the refs are just too involved in the games. If they let them play, I think they have the potential for a different there's a potential for a different outcome, and I honestly feel that like that I'm more and more coaches are starting to come out, more and more analysts are starting to come out on that. This one wasn't blatantly as bad, but there were a couple drives I was there that the Niners didn't really have more than like 10 to 14 positive yards that they produced themselves. They were all like they got moved down the field by penalties, and it's hard to at this point, like it's really hard to say that Arizona was committing the penalties, let's say, actually committing those penalties, and it's not just play, right? Like, uh, and it happens every week, and that's why I say, and I think that's where we're getting more and more of that criticism, right? Um,
Well, I
and but
think I'm starting to think the week that the Patriots get their first loss, then we'll see San Francisco getting their first loss as well. Just because like the rest will go, all right, cool, and that at least someone is finally the Patriots are no longer just the dominating team. We can finally let this team lose, so there's no more hope in San Francisco.
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a diminishing product, right? As far as what we're seeing, and that it needs to be changed. Something needs to happen in order for the entertainment factor to be brought back into the game. There's too much of this stop and go traffic nonsense happening. There's too many calls that are just absolute garbage. They're not. And I get your point. You made this point. I think it was either this in our recap episode or last week that you can't we can't have them overturning a bunch of their calls because then you're providing doubt. But at this point, there is no trust in the referees to actually do anything of note other than screw up the game. Right? That's their mo. They're just there. They're not there to do anything other than just screw up the game and take away from the entertainment.
Well, I think, like we said before, it just needs to be a respectable call, whether, again, holding them accountable for their calls or have it be blatantly obvious. You shouldn't have to go into a deep review to see if a penalty happened.
Yeah, those things. I think actually being that it was a Halloween game, it was a really great costume. Like there was people dressed up. Like some people was in some impressive costumes. Like I would not want to be at the game in these costumes. It does not seem comfortable to like hang out
Did
amongst
you
a
dress
sea
up?
of people. I did not. No, I didn't.
You didn't come as a San Francisco fan,
I didn't
yeah, or an Arizona fan,
or an Arizona fan, yeah. But there
because
was a
you may be at that game, but you are not an Arizona diehard fan.
I root for the home team. I root for the
Yeah.
home team.
You
Uh,
went as a poser. Okay, that's.
Poser, whatever. You used to root for the Cardinals when you used to come to the games too. So you can't
Yeah,
even say I'm a
I
poser.
I always wore my Steelers hat, so my heart's in the right place, but I still have a good head on my shoulders.
Whatever. But there was a they actually did show it on the Jumbotron, which I thought was pretty good. It was a costume. It was a guy in a ref jersey with a donkey mask on. It was so good.
Oh God.
I mean, but
Um,
that's the sentiment, right? That's the fan sentiment. That costume is the embodiment of the fan sentiment, and now and before coaches and analysts and stuff like that were like trying to like smooth it over, try to like keep things positive, but it's just gotten to that point to where like that's to the point to where like that's a costume. That's a costume choice on the Thursday night Halloween game for a fan, right?
right.
And it's so good. And like, if it was like a outlier, it was like a one off, it probably wouldn't gotten any attention. But the fact that it is like so that sentiment is so prevalent, it's getting attention, right?
On a quick side note, did you actually dress up for Halloween?
I did dress up for work. Nothing crazy. I just reused an old outfit, so I was like like SWAT, like special ops. I was, I have that costume. I just threw that on, and in order to participate at work,
I didn't really think of it till now, but I technically kind of stayed true to the bald and beardiful aspect with my costume, being Kratos from God of War.
there you go.
I think and honestly I got more recognition than I thought I was going to walking around the college campus. A lot of nerds here. Didn't see it coming. But let's move on to our
Wait. Pause. I like how you skim over this college campus. Are you legally allowed to be within 100 yards of a college campus or any sort of school?
they're over 18. Shut it.
All right, we can move on into actually moving on into our. We can move into the Big O's, right?
Because for the same for like the past 3 4 weeks 3 weeks.
Not a whole lot's changed, and what more of the same. The Cardinals tried really hard to give that first loss to San Francisco, and it
Came
looked like
close,
they were going to be
28 to
able to do it.
25.
Hmm.
Uh, Patriots. I think that could be a good game. It depends on they're in Baltimore playing the Ravens. Ravens. I think they have a decent shot at taking over the Patriots. They have a good defense. They have targets and power on the offense. It's not going to be an easy win by any means, but I definitely think they have potential versus previous games that we've seen the Patriots in. Bengals, they're not getting a win this week at all.
That's a bold prediction, Cotton.
We'll see. Well, seeing as they're on a bye week,
Do you have a landline? Is that what's going on right now? Who has a landline?
unfortunately, I think that would be my Amazon delivery trying to contact me. All the apartments here are gated by a door, and that kind of ruins this moment. We were having a good moment until this
Can
happened.
you can you go mute that? I mean, I'm not gonna stop it, but like you may want to mute it real quick so we don't have that going anymore. Oh man, well, that's great.
Of course, no one was there. You got
Whatever. I'm
Hey,
just gonna leave it. I don't even
we have
care.
no. We have to make this entertaining. They're going. Wait, is there? Oh my God, are you kidding me right now? Leave me alone. No one calls me all day. Once, just talk about
All
Miami.
right, so let's get into past Bryce's bold prediction of Cincinnati not getting a win on their bye week. Miami plays. Um, Miami plays the Jets this week. Personally, like this is a very much a coin flip game in Miami, right? Jets just have not been playing well. They had that one fluke victory over the Cowboys, but just really not putting it together. And then the Dolphins last Monday night against the Steelers
All
without
right, I'm
Kenyon
back.
Drake.
Literally had to
Bold
run
performance.
outside and grab the Amazon guy, so that way he would stop ringing my phone.
Grab the Amazon guy. That doesn't
I had
sound
to, I
like
had, to,
consent.
I had to let him in the door.
Uh-huh. Did you offer him some rock candy?
I thought you were gonna make a joke about letting him in the back door.
We
It was a setup, and you failed.
because you're gonna offer it up. Right there, you're just gonna offer it up.
Yeah, well, I gotta make you credible on this podcast, so I have to give you
Incredible.
easy jokes.
Whatever. Either way, so Miami at home against the Jets. I was saying that this is a coin flip game. There's a lot of poor play on the Jets side of things. There's not necessarily missing personnel, but like no real like playmaker personnel left on the Dolphins at this point. However, they did play very well against Pittsburgh as a road team.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts?
I think if Miami's going to get a win this season, it's going to be against the Jets. If not now, they can they play them again later on. But I think they're hopefully. I mean, if you look at the Steelers game, they came together at least a little bit, especially in the first half. So I think it's going to be. I think that game could be as close as the Patriots versus Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk injuries, right? A lot of injuries this week, considering we are recording this on Saturday of week 8, 9, 9, week 9.
Yeah,
Saturday,
we're in
week
week 9.
9. Talking about, so we have J.J. Watt out for Houston. That's a big loss to their defense, right?
Right.
We have Joe Flacco put on IR by the Broncos, right?
Indeed.
Big loss to them. I don't even know I don't even know who their backup is. I don't think it's anybody who's had a starting job, but who knows? Like, this has been the weird season of the backups, right?
Yeah, a lot of great backup quarterbacks.
T.Y. Hilton is out against Pittsburgh, right? And then we also have James Conner for Pittsburgh, also out.
It looks like someone named Allen is going to be the top quarterback.
Yeah.
Last name, Brandon Allen. There you go.
Don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see. That's another thing. Is there any other notable injuries this week?
We said Connor. We said Ty.
David Johnson. David Johnson was out this week, along with Edmonds, his backup. That's why they traded for Kenyon Drake, who looked pretty beastly in that game against the Niners. And the Niners' defense is no slouch of a defense. I'm saying right now that David Johnson should be worried that his job is in jeopardy, because between Kenyon Drake and then Edmonds coming back, the Cardinals have a good run game, a solid committee run game at that point. And Johnson has trade value for the offseason. I'm not saying that the trade deadline for this season's over, so like we know he's not going to go anywhere, at least for this season, right?
Right.
But there's definitely that looming possibility that they shop David Johnson around for some other personnel or picks, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at least the fantasy football roster just for injuries or questionables or what have you. Not seeing a lot as far as IR or and just a lot of questionables. Kittle was questionable, but he still played. Thielen, I don't know if he's coming back or not, but he was out last week. Edelman, questionable. Don't know what he's doing.
He'll play.
So,
Edelman's been questionable all season, with that chest injury that he's dealing with.
What is questionable at this point? So who knows? So that's at least my 2 cents on it.
All right. Okay. So moving on. Honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. So this is going towards our Cover 5 league. To give you guys a little insight about how Chris and I are doing compared to the 104 that we're playing against. So the five that I'm going to talk about, including Chris and myself, are Dilly Dilly, Baker of Chains, and D Pry. If they're listening, they know exactly who they are. And anyone else in our league that wants to be an honorable mention, you have to email us. You have to let us know. We will talk about you. And in week 8, Chris, we had a tie for a place in week 8. Do you have any idea which 2 of the 5 tied in points?
Dilly Dilly and Baker of Chains.
Ooh, Baker Chains was one of them. D Pry was the other. D Pry, who got 4th place in week 7, got 98th in week 8 with a total score of -22 for that week. Dilly Dilly came in 47th with a score of +8. Mr. Two Girly One Cup got 72nd.
Hey, I did better than 2 of them.
Better than 2 of them. I did not write down your score for some reason. I think it's because we talked about it in the last episode. So if you want to know what he got,
It was negative. We don't really need to go beyond that. And it was less negative
and
than Baker of Chains and D Pry.
Then yours truly got 11th place with a +39 points for those who didn't listen to our previous episode yet. And now to discuss where we are as in the overall, how are we doing so far of week coming into week 9. I'll start with you. Age before beauty. So Chris, starting off with you're in. You want to take a guess? Do you know where you're standing right now?
Not last.
114th is last place. You are at 105.
Yeah.
With a -91 overall score. Let's do the significant other there.
I just want to make a point to say that that technically, if I get 2 solid positive weeks, where I'm where I finish top 5, I'll be at even at that point, right?
And if a blind squirrel finds a nut, he'll be able to eat as well. So let's just go down in a ranking. Apparently, you and the significant other are picking together because she's in 91st overall with a -48 in points. After that, we have looks like myself in 53rd, but +22.5 points. Dilly Dilly is 47th with 37 overall points. So I'm actually really close to him. Could overtake. And the Pry, even though having a bad week, still beating all of us with 23 point or in 23rd place with 96 overall points.
Well, yeah, she had that top 5 finish, right? She finished in 4th the other week.
Well, I mean, you can technically finish top 5 if everyone gets 5 points. So, I mean, by relative, that doesn't really matter. She's doing well.
Yeah, hopefully, I've put it out there as a potential guest on the Bald and the Beardiful, along with the commish. Obviously, we said not obviously, but as mentioned, the commish gets first dibs if she would like to come on. We'll have to reach out and see what's going on with her schedule, or if she wants to come on. And then we'll put it out there to D Pry, see if she wants to grace us with her presence, considering out of all of us that we know, maybe not all of us, out of the most of us that we know and play, that she's had the highest finish.
Maybe one of these days, seeing how we mainly record on Wednesdays, and you obviously know a winner by Monday night or Tuesday morning. We can get someone from the top 5 of that week to come in and talk about their thought process or something. So, like I said, email us, comment below, we'll reach out.
All right. That'll do it for the in-betweener. I still don't like that.
You had to try it though. You
I
really
tried.
needed to try it.
I tried to make it work, you know. It,
Now, come up, if someone wants to help us out with a better name, let us know.
all right, like and subscribe. Smash the that notification bell. Email us at thebaldandbeautiful@gmail.com. This will do it for the post Halloween week 8 7.5 blah 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 blah.
And we'll talk to you after week 9 is concluded. Thanks, guys.